On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, you have seen him play running back the past couple of Colts games and play really well. Let's introduce everybody and find out a little bit more about Colts running back Deon Jackson, who joins us again via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Deon, thank you for the time. How you doing?
Hey, no problem, man. I'm doing good. How are you?
Fantastic and fantastically done the last 2 weeks. Before we get into it, how's the quad?
Hey, I'm doing good. I was out there at practice today, full go, so everything's going well.
You like me? Did you just slam some biofreeze on it and just start moving around again?
Something like that, a little Tiger Bomb, get going.
Wait a minute. Wait. Are you a Tiger Bomb guy, are you?
Yeah, I would say so. I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, I'll and I know you can't, but I'll rub anything on me to feel better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll bathe, rub, put on, apply, whatever to make myself feel.
Yeah, I'm a big Epsom salt bath guy too.
Are you really? Do you have a hot tub at home?
I kind of got a big tub in my bathroom, so something like that.
See, we hear that all the time. There's an advertiser we have called Royal Spa, and I have a Royal Spa, and the owner, Bob, talks about taking Epsom salt baths in your hot tub, and what's that do for your body? I've never done it.
Honestly, it kind of like brings my legs back. Makes me feel a little bit fresher. Like I usually do it in the afternoon or something like that, like before I go to sleep. And then when I wake up, I feel a lot better. So.
See, I do stuff you probably can't do, so that's and that's understandable right there. But it's all about recovery, and then it's all about recovery time because you don't have a lot of time. You got to get back right in it. And how'd you feel coming off that Thursday game and that extended week when you played this past Sunday? Did you feel pretty good starting the game?
Yeah, actually, I felt really good. That time off that we had from the Thursday game really helped out a lot. I had a lot of time to just take care of my body, get some prehab things kind of worked out and everything like that. So, that was good for me. It had been a while since I played 50 or whatever snaps. It's been a couple of years, so I kind of felt those plays. But going into the last game, I felt really good.
Now, it was different in Denver, certainly on that Thursday night for you, and we can get back to that in a second, but how did you feel? Because not only you're talking about not playing that level of significant snaps in a while, but you were playing this past Sunday against Jacksonville here at Lucas Oil Stadium in the No Huddle. How did that do? Was it somewhat exhausting? Because I know Michael Pittman Jr., your teammate, mentioned how exhausted he was after the game. How different is that than what you experienced in that Denver game?
Yeah, for sure. That was definitely a different switch up. It's kind of something that I did a little bit in college, but that was early on, like my sophomore year. It had been a while. So, making that switch from the Denver game to Jacksonville, going no huddle, it was definitely kind of strenuous in practice. That was something that was big for us, going no huddle in practice and everything like that, trying to get used to it. So, going into the game, definitely a different beast. Definitely exhausting. Pitt played more plays than me, but I still felt it, though.
Yeah, I was. Did you know over the week during practice, because your head coach Frank Reich had mentioned you guys were all in on that early in the week in leading up to that Jacksonville game. Could you see it all cohesion-wise, Deon, coming together as you went along during the week of practice last week?
Yeah, for sure. We going in, we kind of knew we were going to start the week off with that. I just feel like as time went along, as practice went along, we got used to it. We got used to the operation and everything like that, and it started to work out pretty smooth. So we knew it was definitely going to be something that we can use in the game, and feel like it worked to our advantage.
So Deon Jackson of the Colts joining us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. When you've got that really significant first playing time in that Denver game, did it take you a minute to dial yourself down, or were you kind of running off those extra juices you got by being in that position?
I feel like I was just running off of those extra juices. I don't think I really had too much time to try and calm myself down or dial myself down or anything like that. Like Naheem's injury kind of happened sporadically, like it happened out of nowhere, so kind of was just thrust into it, and I didn't really have a chance to process anything or anything like that. I was just kind of in the fire, and I just had to get out there and go.
Was it kind of an oh crap moment for you? Oh crap, here I am. Or was it like, hey, this is what I have practiced. This is what I have played for. This is my moment. How'd you feel when you first knew that you were up and here you go?
I'd say a mix of both. Yeah, I would definitely say a mix of both. When it happened, I definitely was like, "Oh crap!" But then I knew once, like when I ran in there, I knew I was ready. I knew I was ready to get the job done, whatever was asked of me.
It's Deon Jackson. He is with us. So I'm assuming, how did you feel from the Denver game to the Jacksonville game, even with the experience of practicing for that no huddle, which was completely different? Did you feel like you had just a different level of confidence than you had when you were on the spot and had to enter the game as you did on that Thursday night in Denver?
Definitely, for sure. I definitely feel like I went into the Jacksonville game with a lot more confidence, just based off of the game before. Yeah, I mean, I was definitely confident for the Jacksonville game. I wasn't really nervous or anything like that. I mean, I had some emotions and stuff like that just because it was my first start. But as far as going out there and executing, I didn't have any worries or anything like that.
All right, when you scored that touchdown on Sunday, is that with that spike what you had in mind, or was that just kind of living in the moment there?
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of told myself the night before. I was like, if I run somebody over and I score, I'm gonna spike the ball as hard as I can.
Who was that you ran over, by the way, right there? You kind of tattooed somebody there that tried to block your path. How many times have you watched that run?
Literally, probably at least 100.
I love it.
Literally, probably 100.
Man, that should be playing on like a loop on a TV when you walk in your place, honestly. Because, I mean, it seemed like it was one of those moments in the NFL, which I'm sure happens often. It's either you or me, and it's going to be me in this hole as we meet right here, right?
That was definitely my mindset. That was definitely how I was thinking. I said, we're going to meet each other at the goal line. I said, either you're going to win or I'm going to win. I said, I like myself.
Did you get the ball back, by the way?
No, I didn't.
Holy crap. What happened to it?
I mean, when I spiked it, it flew like 5 rows into the stands. I think they got the ball back, but I don't have it, though.
I think they did. Now that I remember, I went back and watched that play again, and I think that they did get it back, so it's got to be floating around there somewhere.
It's somewhere. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere.
Did you have
Did
you have intentions on keeping it?
Not really.
No. Cool.
I have my first touchdown ball from last season when I scored versus the Texans. I have that ball. But honestly, I didn't even think anything about keeping that ball until after the game, and my mom was like, "Did you keep the ball?" And I was like, "Oh, man, no, I didn't even think about that."
So Deon Jackson of the Colts, the running backs on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. When you're coming out of camp, how'd you feel about your chances? And then you always have to be ready. Is it different for you than some of your other teammates in terms of you're playing special teams? There's no doubt, so you're always up for that. But you also have to stay ready to play that position in case you're thrust into it, as you were in Denver on that Thursday night. How do you keep yourself ready for whatever might happen given your situation?
Honestly, JT and Naheem, literally since I got here last year, once I got activated last year and I was on the active roster, literally they used to tell me consistently, like, look, you got to be ready. You got to lock in on this. Like, you're literally 2 plays away from having to be the guy out here, having to be the lead back. And unfortunately, I mean, the past couple of weeks, that's just what happened. So I give credit to them. They've definitely helped me prepare like a starter since I've gotten here, and hopefully I'm putting those results out on the field.
Well, they're both really good dudes for one. Is there anything that comes to mind immediately, advice-wise, that they have given you that you've actually taken to the field when you've gotten this significantly more playing time in the past 2 weeks and it's worked for you? Anything out of either one?
It's just little like details that they point out. Just little small things that they point out, like watching film and stuff like that. Just little things that they point out about a certain player's like demeanor or certain attributes or characteristics. And like I listen to pretty much everything that they tell me just because of the experience that they have. They're experienced playmakers out here. They're experienced in this offense. So any advice, anything that they tell me, I listen to because I know that they know what they're doing. They're 2 of the best.
All right, Deon Jackson joins us because we have incredible reach on this afternoon show here in Indianapolis. I have an update for you on the spike football. You ready?
Yeah.
This is from Jeff Sutton. He says the spiked ball hit my wife in the hands. She missed, but the staff took the ball back onto the field. So it does, as you mentioned, have to be somewhere. So I guess his wife had the opportunity to get it, but didn't quite cash it in.
Yeah, I think I seen the one of the dudes on the field like waving to try and get the ball back. So yeah, I think I did see that. I might have to try and find it.
The Angry Run Scepter Award from Kyle Brand on NFL Network.
Yeah.
Were you honored to receive that? Pretty fired up for it?
Definitely. I was definitely happy to receive that. That was literally the first thing that I saw when I woke up yesterday morning. So I was definitely happy about that, especially because I seen JT win that last year. So for me to win it this year and bring it back to the room is definitely an honor.
That's awesome right there too.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
That run, like when the Colts have a highlight basically for the rest of the season now, that run is probably going to be on most of them right there.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy about that. Yeah, that was definitely a proud moment for sure.
Running back wise, and then special teams. You enjoy special teams, and then what do you feel about yourself as a special teams player, Deon?
Honestly, special teams is something that I learned to love. I never had really any experience playing special teams or anything like that before I got to the NFL. You know, in college, I mean, the only thing that I did in college was like return kickoffs. So special teams was definitely something that I had to get used to. But honestly, I like special teams a lot. Feel like I'm still getting better, but I'm way more developed as a special teams player than I was last year. Just blocking, getting my assignments and everything like that. So I think I have a lot more value in special teams this year. Yeah, so
what's Bubba Ventrone is the noted special teams coach for you guys.
Yeah.
What has he told you, both good and bad? What you can do better, and then what you do at a high level right now with his special teams unit?
Well, for one, he's told me that I'm night and day from last year. He trusts me. He trusts me on every unit now. He has a lot of belief in my abilities. The only thing he's looking for out of me is just keep being consistent. Just show consistency every week. Show up every week and get my job done.
So does that make you think about that? So you didn't trust me last year with every?
Nah, maybe a little bit.
So wait a minute, you didn't wait.
I love Bubba though.
When were those moments when you didn't trust me last year? I'm kind of curious when those were to look back on it. It's Deon Jackson with us. I was talking to Voice of the Colts, Matt Taylor, who's a friend of mine. He was on a little bit earlier too, and I guess you guys had a conversation earlier today. You get an interesting background in and around Atlanta in high school at the Pace Academy, and I looked this up. There are some professional athletes that came out of your high school back in the day.
Yeah, for sure. Some of my close friends, man. Some of my close friends.
How good was the high school football team back when you were there?
We were pretty good. Our best year, I'd say my junior year. That was the year we won state. From that team, from my junior year team, it's actually 4 of us that are in the NFL right now. So it's me, Andrew Thomas, the left tackle for the Giants. Jamari Sellier, he's a rookie this year on the Chargers. He's actually playing left tackle right now.
Oh, he was playing on Monday night a bunch.
Yeah, for sure. And then our kicker, actually Samuel Sloman, I think he just got signed by the 49ers or something like that. So I think he's back in the league again. Now, so I think it's 4 of us right now.
Is that high school known in the Atlanta area for pumping out, professional athletes, high-level collegiate athletes too?
Actually, not really. Like, when I got there, I think the football program had literally just started 5 years prior to me getting to the school. 5 years prior to my freshman year. So I think they started varsity football in 2008 or 2009, and my freshman year was 2013. So, it was a fairly new program. We kind of just turned it up real fast.
Again, Deon Jackson's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So why was it Duke for you? Did you have other options when you came out of the Pace Academy, or was it Duke all along? What was your mindset going into college out of high school?
My final two schools that I decided from were Duke and Notre Dame. I had a good amount of offers. I had a lot of offers, not gonna lie. But my final two was Duke and Notre Dame. I had actually committed to Duke before my senior season. Notre Dame had been recruiting me all along, but then when they switched and they got a new staff, then the new staff offered me, and they were trying to flip me from Duke. I felt loyal to Duke. Duke's offense was pretty kind of similar to what I ran in high school, so something that I was going to be comfortable in. Then I knew coming in I had a chance to be able to play early and not have to redshirt. So plus the education, you can't beat that top tier education, one of the top schools in the country. So and then also playing Power 5 football, so getting the best of both worlds is definitely something that appealed to me and my family. So helped me make the choice.
Clearly, academics were incredibly important to you, Deon. What? Give me back in high school, because you got football and you got training and you got weightlifting and all that going on, and then you had your academics. How much of that night, day and night, every single day back in your high school did that eat up? How many hours a night?
Honestly, I tried to get a lot of my work done during school. Like, since I went to a private school, like the way our schedule and stuff was set up, we would have like free periods where we didn't have classes. So some days I would have 1 or 2 free periods where I don't have a class. So I would just go to the academic resource center, kind of do my work and try and get that done before I have to go home, because I knew I was going to get home kind of later. So honestly, I got a lot of my work done during school, but there's definitely a lot of days where it'll have me up to 11 or so at night getting work done or getting some reading done or something like that for school for the next day.
He's Deon Jackson of the Colts. You've seen him especially be active and certainly with great results in the past 2 games in Denver and then at home against Jacksonville this past weekend. He's with us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I'm assuming, being from Atlanta, you were a Falcons fan growing up. Was it surreal the first time you were on the field with Matt Ryan?
Yeah, definitely kind of a jaw-dropping experience, I would say. Kind of funny, like the first day we reported, it was actually the day before we reported back for OTAs. I kind of pulled up to the facility just to kind of get some things straightened in my locker, and it was a truck sitting out here in the parking lot. It was only him, and I parked next to the truck, not realizing who was in it. And then I looked, and I was like, "Oh, that's Matt." I was like, "That's Matt Ryan." So then the first thing we talked about was him being the commencement speaker at my graduation. So it's kind of funny.
Do you remember what his subject was?
Honestly, I really don't, to be honest. For the most part, people, like all of us were like in the crowd, and we were like, "Dude, that's Matt Ryan." Like, we were hardly paying attention to what he was saying. We were kind of all in shock.
Yeah, I'm assuming too, because we had Peyton Manning around here for so many years. There's probably a similar feeling to what the Atlanta folks felt about Matt Ryan to what most people felt about Peyton Manning over the Manning years here.
Yeah, I would probably say that's some pretty similar feeling. Yeah.
Is it safe to say that as a fan back in the day, one of your not so good days was that Super Bowl, that second half of that Super Bowl with the Falcons and the Patriots?
That was a disappointing, after that was a disappointing day in the city. I'm not gonna lie. Like the aura around school after that, like everybody was down, everybody was upset, because we actually, I think that Friday before the Super Bowl, like whatever the last day of school was before that Super Bowl, I know we got the day off of school. Like, we were on the news for that and all of that. So it was kind of wild. That was part of the subject that he talked about during our speech. Actually, now that I think about it, because that was that same year. Yeah,
that kind of probably, as a fan, makes you want to turn the lights out and not turn them back on for a while, right? That's how certainly bad that was. It's Deon Jackson of the Colts with us. Do you know? I know it's early. It's Wednesday. A lot of things have to happen, but do you know what part of the game plan that you may be in coming up on Sunday at all, or have you yet to go over that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, whenever my number's called, I'm just gonna be ready to go in there and produce and go in there and do my part. So whatever part that may be, that's what it is.
And one thing too, there wasn't a great deal of offensive consistency and cohesion leading up to going to that no huddle. Did you see a difference from that no huddle and some of the different things you guys worked on, practiced on offensively? Did you see that come to life against Jacksonville, and that stuff that you think you can take away and be more efficient further down the road using it?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. The most important thing, is just having that sense of urgency and everybody being on the same page. I feel like with the no huddle, we kind of all had to be on the same page in order to get everything done. So I feel like that was really good for us. It's definitely something that we can keep going and continue with.
All right, when you scored that touchdown and you got the angry run scepter and all that, did you hear from a lot of people?
Yeah, I did. I definitely heard from a lot of people. A lot of friends, a lot of family. A lot of people telling me that I single-handedly won their fantasy matchup for the week. I got a lot of that.
See, a lot of players don't dig on the like. If I were to ask Naheem that, he'd go, "What are you talking about here?" But do you embrace that? The fantasy talk from fans? I'm sure you've heard from them, right?
Nah, yeah, I've definitely heard a lot from the fans. Like, I may not respond, but I definitely read it though. Like, I used to play fantasy myself, so I kind of understand.
Would you pick yourself? Would you put yourself on your own team if you had a fantasy team?
Yeah, if I'm going off of the past 2 weeks, I would, yeah.
Yeah. That a guy right there. That's what I'm looking for. I do too, but I'm around here and people know me and probably frown upon this, but I'm a big wide receiver. I've got like 25 wide receivers on my fantasy team. I'm a big wide receiver after wide receiver guy, so that's kind of where I'm hanging. Hey, excellent conversation. Congratulations on what you've accomplished, especially, in the spotlight these past couple of weeks. And here's hoping for more and the great results and great conversation. And hopefully we can do it again. Deon, thanks for stopping on the show.
Hey, no problem, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Deon Jackson right there, the Colts via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. That is a really good guy right there. Really good guy.